What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the It Doesn't Matter podcast. I'm your host. I'm Notorious One. I am Dom. And tonight we are paying tribute to one of the greatest workers of all time. He has a birthday, so we're going to pay homage to him. We're going to talk about the late, great Eddie Guerrero. So I'm joined with my brothers. I'm here with the Dominican Dream, Poppy Platinum. I'm here with a man all the way down in Delaware. I'm here with BDC. I'm here with the man that chose the show, the man with all the knowledge. I'm here with Strap Facts. So, Strap, this is your pick. You setting the tone. Let's get right into Starrcade 1997. You want to talk about Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero. So, kick it off.
All right. So, we have picking our choice of people to talk about. And usually I don't go for the superstar series, the superstar episodes. But, Eddie Guerrero, I mean, who doesn't, love Eddie Guerrero in some way, shape, or form? And he has a legacy that lasts till today. I mean, he passed away in late 2005. It is 2025 now. So there you go. There, you do some quick math. That's 20 years. And he's still mentioned on TV, which is great. That means his legacy has gone on, and it's still remembered and revered till today. And thinking about Eddie Guerrero, I was thinking about, of course, some of my favorite matches of his. And one of them is this match here with Dean Malenko, Starrcade 1997. That pay-per-view known for many things. Some good, some bad. Some Sting, some Hogan. But this here, Dean Malenko and Eddie, it opened the pay-per-view, and it was one of the featured matches on his DVD release of Eddie Guerrero's. And I just thought it was, obviously it's a technical masterpiece. Dean Malenko is an incredible worker. Eddie Guerrero, also an incredible worker. And, they helped each other get their spot in WCW. They faced off against each other many times. In ECW, that's where they got their notoriety. And like I said, this was just a technical masterpiece. And I literally just watched it again minutes ago as a refresher. And the work is just so crisp. It is so tight. And even the finish, it was like it was a frog splash onto the rear leg as Dean Malenko was turned over. And that was just, and even rewinding a bit, that was something that came up as pro wrestling storytelling goes. Minutes earlier, I think Dean Malenko was, stomach down on the mat, and his legs were kind of dangling on the outside of the ring. Eddie Guerrero does like a tope slam right on that, hyperextending the left leg. And if that's ever happened to you, then that sucks. So yeah. Then, the finish being a follow-up of that, that's just great pro wrestling storytelling. And like I said, it was just a great, well-worked match. And that's what they were known for. This was for the Cruiserweight Championship, the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. And, they said Dean Malenko already had it 3 times. He was looking for his 4th win here. And he had even in the opening shot that he showed Rey Mysterio just sitting in the crowd. And you think, what else happened that year? Gee, one of wrestling's most legendary best matches of all time, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, Halloween Havoc 97. So it was just a great, great match. And as a pro wrestling fan, you're just proud to show anyone or tell anyone, hey, you want to watch something good? Watch this. So that's why I chose this matchup, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well.
So we talked about Starrcade 1997. Check out the archives. We relived this whole show, and we talked about, everybody know that the card was Hogan and Sting.
Yep.
And I relived our episode in the archives, and we all said that this Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero match was the best match of the night. And it is true, because that card stunk. All the top wrestlers in the crowd getting ready for this Hogan Sting match. But Eddie and Dean, they stole the show. They were the show. And this basically showed that Eddie Guerrero, he had it right here. He it showed a masterclass right there. Basically.
I'm just realizing now why you shared that in our group chat.
Yeah, me too.
There you go.
So why are we revisiting this episode? We covered it. My bad.
Yeah.
When I do my research, I'm looking at everything that we did, everything that's on all other platforms as well. So
see, that's why, even though it doesn't matter, it does matter when it doesn't matter podcast covers it. You got it, get it, good.
Yeah. Plus, I want to know what I said too. So
Yeah. I mean,
you're trying to be like M and Lil Wayne. You don't want to repeat yourself.
Basically.
Right.
Well, they don't care. That's 2 years ago.
Yeah, that episode holds special meaning to me, being as though that was the first one that I was in on.
Episode.
Yep, and I was actually sitting on that hot ass couch with the rest of y'all. It was a great time. Great time.
It was a really hot November day when we recorded, even though it was released in December. Spoiler alert, fellas, we're our fans. Sometimes we record a little way early if we get some time. But,
yeah, but
good
yeah,
days.
that
Terramana days.
That day was hot. That day was hot as hell. I don't know what was up.
Oh man, but yes, we can all say that this match definitely does matter. And
absolutely,
BDC, any thoughts on this match besides being excellent?
Listen, it maximized Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko. If you knew who they were going into that match, you expected the moon and the stars, and they gave it to you. If you didn't know who they were going into that match, you got something you were not expecting, and my God, you were happy you got it. Yeah. That match, for many reasons, was one of the best matches of '97. And I'm not just saying WCW. I'm saying one of the best matches in 1997. To be rivaled alongside the Rey Mysterio Eddie Guerrero match that happened, which probably was the best match of 1997. It was just, I mean, the whole story leading up to it was just, it was a storytelling masterclass. The match was also a masterclass of storytelling. Like you said, it was all the way down to the hyperextended leg, and that in and of itself took a life of its own in the last minutes of the match. That one move over the top rope outside the ring to the leg, it took over the entire match at that point. And it, like I said, is just storytelling gold. I watched that match as part of my research because indirectly or directly, my topic will kind of go into this match as well. And I watched that match, and then when I was done watching the match, I started the match over and I watched it again because I was just floored by it. So I was just like, nah, you know what? Let me roll this back. I need to see this again because this was great. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was a phenomenal match.
Latino, I know you love the match as well. You have anything you want to say about it?
Yeah, just a masterclass with these two guys, man. Dean Malenko was always one of my favorites of the cruiserweights at that time, even though he wasn't doing all the high flying like Ray and all the other luchadors were. But the man of 1,000 hold, you needed a guy like that, a tactician that can bring the high flyers down to the ground and, make them do different things and make them work a different style just to him. He was basically like their veteran, their MVP for the cruiserweight division. And this match with these two guys, I know Dean didn't have the biggest character in terms of the camera work, but man, his matches, they were damn near flawless. The guy was trained so well by his father, and you got Eddie Guerrero, who's a second-gender wrestler as well. You couldn't go wrong with this match. I mean, you could have if the chemistry wasn't working right, but for some reason, it seemed like all the cruiserweights just had a chip on the shoulder. Like, all right, maybe we're not 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds, but we're gonna show out and we're gonna steal the show every single time you put us on the show. Whether it's in the beginning, middle. Unfortunately, never put us on the end because we weren't the main event. But in all actuality, they were the reason why I even watched WCW for a while. you had your fan favorites like Hogan, Mach, and all them, but what actually made you turn the channel during the Monday Night Wars? Oh, Cruiserweight's on? Click.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Cruiserweight showed that they were art in motion, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so now BDC, you said that numerous times that Eddie Guerrero was one of your favorites, and that his WCW version when he turned heel was one of your favorites. Talk about that. What made that run for you so special? Run for him so special for you?
So, I mean, we cover it on the Nitro podcast.
Record.
Yep. That that we're seeing Eddie Guerrero at where we are. We're just seeing Eddie Guerrero really get started. They're starting to put an imprint as far as cruiserweights are concerned. His heel turn, which in effect started due to Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko was on this kick that, Eddie Guerrero was doing things to cause him to lose matches, and Eddie Guerrero wasn't the guy that we all thought he was, and he was like a ticking time bomb and all this stuff that Malenko was putting out there, which legitimately started his slow burn heel turn. And once he really took hold of it, which came a couple of months down the line, it was everything about him just changed. Like, he had the interview where he was like, "You think I changed? You're talking to, he's doing things that are unlike himself. He's doing this, he's doing that, but I changed." And, little things like that started to slowly work their way in. Then it was, all of a sudden, as he started to embrace the heel, the straps, the straps were gone, and then all of a sudden the hair became real greasy, and then he went and put in the work in the gym, and all of a sudden this dude was cut the fuck up and tanned. And all of a sudden his moveset changed. It wasn't high flyer that much anymore. He still did high flying moves, but that wasn't the focus of his attack. Now he was power, and he was aggressiveness, and he was definitive with everything that he did. Like, he changed his entire all of who he is. He changed with this heel turn. And I mean, ultimately, he doesn't turn on Dean per se. He turns on Chavo. He leaves Chavo in the ring. They had a tag match. He leaves Chavo in the ring. And then the next week he beats Chavo up in a match. And then Hector comes out. His brother comes out and tries to talk Eddie down. Eddie pushes him off, and then he gets into a match with Hector, and he beats Hector down too. And that's where he really starts to take hold of it. Everything about him changes. His persona changed. Once the guy that was out there and trying to rah-rah for the fans, he didn't give a shit. His face, everything about him said, "I don't give a damn about you. It's all about me now." Even when they put him in some weird-ass matches, like they had a tag match where it was him and Dean Malenko versus, I think it was Rey Mysterio, somebody, and they put him in these weird situations, but it was just like it was him and everybody else. And during this heel run, I thought was some of his best work. Of course, naturally, you have the Rey Mysterio match that we've talked about. The feud with Dean Malenko officially ended with that Starrcade match. And he had matches in between where he was just showing out every time he was out there. Oddly enough, dude lost his title the very next night. After beating Dean Malenko at Starrcade, he loses his title to Ultimo Dragon the next night in like under 3 minutes because he got the Dragon Sleeper on him, and he tried to crawl out of it. Ultimo Dragon sits down on it, and he tapped out, and that was pretty much it. But it was like his entire run was just like people didn't know where it came from. Mike Tenay did a really good job of putting out there, "Oh, well, yeah, I thought this was Eddie Guerrero, but you don't know about Los Gringos Locos," when he was part of the most hated tag team in Japan. And it was like, you go through all that, and it's like, oh yeah, he did that shit. And so all of it tied in beautifully together. I love that, and like as I said, everything about him changed, even the gear, and it was just a total changeover for him. It changed everything about what you thought you knew about him changed with this heel turn. And even when he went face later, and even when he came to the WWE, the Eddie Guerrero that was in the early version of WCW died with that heel turn. It never came back. There's always been elements of this version of Eddie Guerrero and everything he's done ever since.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons, and that is the main reason I love this heel turn of him. I thought this was his best work in WCW, period.
I have to agree. Definitely tune in to WCW Nitro. Check out the Nitro podcast. We talk about Eddie Guerrero. And Eddie Guerrero, he's trying to find his place. He's having great matches, but he's not interacting. He's not engaging with the crowd. And we see the same thing. Like, we all know what happened. The same thing with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's putting on a good show, but the fans, they don't care for him until, you know, he flipped the switch, basically.
Yep.
And that's how it basically is right there. And I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah. Eddie absolutely flipped the switch on everybody. Yeah. And like I said, I think part of it was Mike Tenay able to kind of put a stamp on it for people. It's like, if you want to know why he's this guy, and Tenay is literally saying, no, this is who he really is. The guy that we saw coming in was not really him. No, this guy is really him. He kind of tied it all together because he was just next level of a commentator, and he did his research, and he searched history, and he saw things like that other commentators didn't see, when that really helped Guerrero a lot too, to me.
So my question for y'all is, how do you think this alteration of Eddie Guerrero, him becoming a heel, how do you think that staged him becoming into Latino Heat? Strap.
It's just, I mean, maybe that's why he's so popular, because the fans got to see him evolve. And I don't want to say correctly, because that sounds cruel to some people. But, you know, yeah, it's like, if you just saw Eddie Guerrero in American television, like I have, it's like, and then Mike Tenay bringing up the previous history, which I don't know where you would find that footage of a, I mean, I'm sure it exists. Los Gringos, what was it?
That's what
Los Gringos Locos.
That's what him and Art are, right?
Yeah.
I can only imagine like the kind of heel work that they would have been doing. So, and it sounds very interesting to see what that would have been. And then have, because Art Bart passing away, and then you have Eddie Guerrero, maybe in storyline, coming to his senses and getting away from that evil life of his, and coming to ECW, then WCW as that fresh baby face, that innocent baby face, and him evolving into, the heel character, as BDC mentioned, and then keeping some of those elements because he's a human being. He learned things, and he's keeping those things with him as he goes to the WWFE, and then he is that slick early Latino Heat, and then he hooks up with that Chyna woman, the original Mamacita, and then toward the the end of his life and career, the world champion Latino Heat, the I'm your papi Latino Heat, so for fans watching him just continuously evolve and grow, so he doesn't really he doesn't have a magical, even though he's been face and heel throughout the entire time. Fans see the person grow, and everything makes sense. Like, okay, of course he picked up these habits here, or of course this is why he turned heel here, because he thought he was wronged, or he thought he wasn't getting opportunity, so I just think that's why fans gravitated toward Eddie Guerrero so much, and had so much more passion for a guy like him than some pro wrestlers who never even get to that level. I mean, take Zack Ryder for example. You know, it's like, yeah, he got really popular and got over during that 2011 period, but does anyone really love Zack Ryder, the human being, the person, the character? Matt Cardona now? It's like, okay, yeah, he got popular, woo, 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 and then he didn't get pushed. He was just on the undercard forever. He had that great moment at WrestleMania 32, blah,
Just
blah,
lose the belt
blah.
again.
Gets fired. He's on the indie scene. He's the indie god, wins the title, does death matches, and he's got a great career for himself, no doubt. He's got married, found a woman, you know, and cool. Does anyone feel anything for this dude? Like Matt Cardona, it's like, no, you don't. You didn't get to see him really evolve. I mean, you could also argue that he wasn't given a chance to. I mean, it's called wrestling. It's called a push. And some people don't get that, you know, but Eddie Guerrero was one of those fortunate guys to get that. And we were lucky enough to be able to see his evolution from WCW all the way to the WWE, you know. So that's just what makes Eddie Guerrero, you know, special. And that's why we're talking about him today.
Well, you can see how his heel work really laid the foundation for what's next to come for him. Because, you know, later on, he's eventually going to become Latino Heat. So, Platino, let's talk about the storyline with him and Chyna. Let's talk about the comedy, the connection, the chemistry between them two. Like, what stood out to you between Eddie and Chyna right here?
It was Chyna basically, like, in the beginning, she was like, "What are you doing? Like, I don't want you." Because she had a similar storyline with Mark Henry, and we saw how that turned out in the hotel. For those who don't need to know, let's just say it almost became a gold night, but it wasn't for Mark Henry. But this was completely different because Eddie was trying to charm her. He was, you know, he seen that she was becoming, you know, very popular. She ended up winning the Intercontinental title off of Jeff Jarrett during was it the
housekeeping match?
Yeah, housekeeping match. So fucked up for even doing that, but give props to Jeff for that. And it's just those two. It just, at first I was like, what is this? What is this really like? This doesn't seem like Chyna's character. She's more of that brawler, doesn't care. She's trying to like beat all these guys up, and then Eddie's trying to charm her, you know, show her the good life, you know, saying how beautiful she is, and I think she would eventually post for Playboy too, right?
Yeah, and that's when he started getting jealous.
Yeah. I mean, man, I don't want to see my woman. No one be looking at those my goodies. But and all together, man, that storyline just had everything. It was funny. It was very well told. It had betrayal in it as well, even though Chyna should have seen it coming. And you can see, like, Eddie, like, his intentions weren't just about Chyna. It was about getting that Intercontinental title off of her. And it happened in a match. I guess he was hugging her one time, and he,
smirk.
you know, you remember that match,
yeah,
right?
I remember that. Yep, stands right up.
Stands up. I won? No. I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
It was not a Bruno Sammartino bear hug that he was trying to do.
Oh, man. I think it was a triple threat, and then he just went to cover to check on her.
And he laid on her.
He laid on her, 1, 2, 3. Oops.
So this right here basically showed that, all right, Eddie has some
ulterior motives.
Yeah, well, that, and has some life under his legs because Vince is starting to dig this character right here. At this time, Chyna, before this, she was the former bodyguard of Triple H, and she became an Intercontinental champion. But the Triple H and Chyna broke up, went their separate ways. Triple H with Stephanie. Now Chyna, okay, what more can you do? You're already right there. All right, let's see what we can do. We're gonna pair you with Eddie Guerrero. So Eddie Guerrero, test your luck with Chyna, and the chemistry just worked out. It was good. It was entertaining segments every week, and yeah, and he broke Chyna. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm saying he broke her. He made her laugh, and we seen another side of Chyna that we weren't used to. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Which-
you didn't see her smiling too much with Triple H and during that whole DX and
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, which is very unusual to think that she was a part of DX, but yet she seemed to have more fun with Latino Heat as Mamacita. Yeah.
If you ever need some spice, go with a Latino. Mamacitas.
Lord
Just
have
MSC.
mercy.
Not Paul
What?
Martinez.
Hey guys.
I'm not gonna say
We cooking. We warming
I
up.
know what you mean. I know what you mean. We'll save it in the comments. Paul gonna meet you later. What does that mean, Dom?
He knows. He knows.
You know he listening.
John make a clip of that.
Wasn't at work.
Well, we're not gonna be on his network.
Well, invite Paul.
All right, but guys, was this Eddie Guerrero's breakout moment at the time?
I would I would definitely say yes.
WWE, absolutely. This was it. This was it, and he did not miss. He did not miss.
Yeah, I mean, this is where they're the legend of the WWF, comes at. The characters, the larger than life characters. He wasn't, he was who he was, with the heel turn and being making the LWO and I mean, he had there was a lot of real stuff going on in WCW that kind of had that stop and start push with him. But there's a mute button, Platino. Yeah, giggle shits. But his character, his WWF character, you got the Big Boss Man, you got Mr. Perfect, you got Latino Heat. He got something that Vince McMahon can latch on to. He got something. He got a WWF character. He got his Hulk Hogan. He got his Macho Man. He got his name. He is Latino Heat. So, and once you got that, you're even Santino Marella don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
He's got
he's the Milan Miracle. He's not Mr. Cobra or whatever. No, at the time he was the Milan Miracle, but
The Milan Miracle from Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, but
oh man,
yeah,
Rep
Latino
up-
Heat. Now
rep
he's
up the
now he's
hometown.
big time.
Yeah.
No, you're right about that, John. Though, because very few guys get that recognition, that name, like you said, Hulk, Mach, freaking the
Taker.
Viper,
Taker.
yeah,
Yep.
the Dead Man. There's very few guys that get a moniker and it just sticks, and it helps them lead to a Hall of Fame career. And Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero, that was a definition, and it was something that even us Hispanics use. Like, hey, you got that Latino Heat, man.
Man, I hate it when they talk like that in the barrio. or Tilly Street.
Hey man.
Whatever.
Definitely not Tilly Street.
Definitely
Lord.
not. Definitely not.
Like
man.
it's a nickname, right? It's also a nickname. I always wanted a nickname. I always try to create my own, and guess what? They never stuck because nicknames you can't come up with, they're given to you by other people.
Yep.
Although the real origins of the strap name I kind of did come up with. So, but other people continue to call me a version of that, so that's why it stuck in my college life. So, and it remains today as the supreme force in pro wrestling podcasting entertainment.
All right. Well, yes, the Latino Heat name is definitely legendary. So for me, what hits hard for me is Eddie's real life struggle. Like, we know that he battled addiction, and we know that he had basically his second life with this Latino Heat gimmick right there. That, okay, he got released, they brought him back, and then he goes for the world title. So at No Way Out 2004, he's going against Brock Lesnar. He's the WWE champ, undisputed champ, one of them champs. And
Brock?
Brock.
Yeah, he was undisputed heavyweight champion. Yep.
Yeah. And they're pushing Latino Heat. They're pushing Eddie Guerrero, and then they cross the line, start talking about his addiction. And you know how I love like the realness of wrestling.
Yeah.
Might not know it was a work, might not know it was a shoot, but I just love it. Just like when CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb, like,
yeah,
okay, yeah. Like, all right, this dude, he's legit. Like, I'm all for that. I love that. And when Eddie started talking about his addiction, I'm like, damn, like that was deep. And
yeah,
I can't say I could relate to, you know, his addiction and whatnot, but you can feel for the dude. Like, you just felt the realness, and then you want to hear the guy, or you want to see the guy get the victory, and like, okay, this is it. And then I have the clip of the promo I want you guys to listen to right quick.
Through all that time, bro, through all those 3 years, not only did I wind up losing my job, I lost my wife, I lost my kids, and I lost myself. I lost my spirit. I disgraced my race. I disgraced my family. I disgraced myself. But you know what, bro? I came to a point in my life, I came to a point where it was do or die, Holmes. I had to make a decision. Do or die. And you know what I say? I did. Because I'm here right now. Day by day, by the grace of God, I have earned my way back into this ring. Sorry. That's my way of telling my family I'm sorry. That's my way of telling my kids I'm going to provide a better way of life for them. I'm going to get the bikes that they wanted. I'm going to give them a better education. That's my new addiction, oh. See, when I step into this ring, bro, I am addicted. I'm addicted to the high that I get from them. I'm addicted to the satisfaction. Do anything and run over anybody. It's going to take to get
Ooh.
Man, listen.
Hey, I
felt
can't even.
every bit of that.
You felt every bit of that. You heard it in his voice. Like, he was like spitting from the mouth and all that, man. It was real. Like, you can't teach. Like, you can't write that.
No, you can't.
That's all heart right there. And hearing that promo, you seen that promo, was it Thursday Night SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown before No Way Out? You want to see this man win.
Yeah.
And he did it.
Do or die, and he did.
He did.
He
for
did.
Sure.
Ooh, shit.
What a moment. What a moment right there.
Yeah, that's something I can't relate to either, an addiction for like that, but man, everything he said afterwards, like all the work you put in for to provide for your family, to provide a better home for them. That you're away from them as much as you don't want to be, but ooh, that hit home. Man, that hits home when you're a father, man. You do every single thing you can to provide for your family, and you sacrifice your happiness so they can have a better life in their future, so that way fuck, I can't even get it out. Fuck. Damn, Eddie.
I need you to understand it is a whole different level. I've heard many a guys talk about what the championship means to them. It's an accumulation of my lifelong dream, or it means I'm the big man, I'm the head, I'm the alpha, the omega, I'm all of this. That shit hits different when you literally hear him say that title means to me, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Like, I'm gonna win this title, and this is my apology to everybody, because now I'm showing you I put it all on the back burner, and this is me now. Yeah. I'm sorry for all the shit I put you through. Me getting this means that I no longer have to put you through that. Yeah. That now it's only up from here. Like, literally, that title to him is rock bottom.
Yep.
That's crazy as shit.
Yeah.
He lost
that
everything.
Hits hella difference.
Lost everything, lost their trust.
Yup.
He's trying to prove that, hey, daddy made a mistake. Let me right my wrongs.
And this championship is the wrong.
Right. Yes.
This championship is righting the wrong. And he did just that.
The crazy thing is he's not even talking to his own family. He's talking to the guys in the back.
Yep.
If you really think about it, that's his family.
Well, Vicky was going to leave him, though.
I know that, but I'm saying...
Yeah.
Like, if you listen to the actual details, he knows he screwed up, and everyone looked towards him because he was a locker room leader.
It's the reason. It's the reason why he mentioned his kids, his wife, and his family.
Yes,
it's the reason why he mentioned because his wife and his kids are his legit family. True, but when he talks his family, he talks to everyone connected to the Guerrero name, be it his cousin, being his brother, being his dad, being all of that, but it also means all the guys in the back and all the fans that he has let down. It's all of that. It's all of that. That was next level, bro.
Yeah,
that was next level.
I did my research. I could have went the Chris Benoit route. I could have talked about Rey Mysterio. I said, nah, I'm gonna do something a little different. So I did my research. I was watching WWE Eddie Guerrero's playlist, Viva La Raza, the playlist on The Vault. And I'm like, wow, yeah, like I remember this. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna discuss this right here. I figured this would be something good. And
very powerful message.
Can relate somewhat.
Extremely.
Yeah, Strap, what are your thoughts on his promo right here with Brock?
It just makes me think that we should come up with a list of most unappreciative world champions in history. It's like, that's what that means to Eddie Guerrero. And, I think we all have replica belts. And we've all done promos with our replica belts in the privacy of our own homes. And what it would mean if we were the world champion or whatever belt it is. And you can only imagine what we would say about ourselves, what the title would mean to us. And obviously that promo is a great promo to show what it means to Eddie Guerrero. But I'd like to ask Brock Lesnar what he thinks of all his world championship wins and if they meant anything to him. I'd like to ask Sid Udy what his 2 world championships from the WWF have meant to him. I'd like to ask Jim Hellwig. Now I know what he feels about being world champion. It's just more luggage. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
I mean, think maybe Brock might have appreciated the first one.
Maybe the first one.
Yeah.
Brock is still he's still a man of mystery. You know, he don't say much, he don't talk much. You don't have to, don't need to, and that's probably the way it's going to be. You know, but to some wrestlers, it means a lot more. To a person who has a wrestling legacy to live up to, the Guerreros, the Harts, Maivias, Usos, you know, that might mean something different to them versus to Shawn Michaels with the Boyhood Dream. You know, obviously his first one meant a lot to him. You know, Bret Hart cared about every single one of his championships. Or they're one hell of a worker because they're working us right now. So it just shows that the world title means a lot to different people and whoever holds it, and that's why it was such a moment at the WrestleMania 20 with Benoit and Eddie, because they worked so hard in an industry that was not made for them, and that's why they won it. That's why, you know, Kofi Mania, Yeselmania, you know. These guys, again, almost on the same token, this business was not made for guys like them, and they made it through, you know. So, and how does Randy Orton feel? How about the never seen 17 guy, you know?
Yeah.
How does he feel about his title reigns? I imagine he cares too.
Yeah, he definitely cares.
Yeah, he does.
He probably cares about 17 more than any of the other ones, though. Because it ties him to get forever to a record book until somebody breaks their 17th reign.
Yeah, it rhymes the best.
Charlotte.
Never seen 17. Yes. All right. Well, speaking of big moments, Platino wants to talk about a classic, and John just mentioned it. WrestleMania 20. Eddie Guerrero takes on Kurt Angle. My man Stratfax was in attendance. I say this every single time. We always talk about WrestleMania 20.
Yep.
And this match had everything: technical wrestling, storytelling, and of course Eddie Guerrero untying his boot. Platino, break it down.
Yeah, this is just another classic with Eddie, man, especially with Kurt. The intensity that Kurt brought to this match, holy crap. This is when Kurt was on one, man. He really was the wrestling god. There was nobody you put in front of him where he wasn't going to outwork him. And I thought Eddie was about to get outworked because the way Kurt was going after him, especially working that leg, oh my God. I had to go back and watch a little bit here and there, but holy crap, man. Yo, I honestly don't know how Eddie pulled it off. This is the one time Kurt didn't use one of his eyes, the intelligence. And that's the crazy thing, because if Kurt is working on that ankle, and he's seeing Eddie kind of like, you know, relieving a little pressure. It's something like that maybe none of us thought about, where he's relieving the pressure, but in all actuality, he's like waiting for that right moment where that boot is just a little bit too loose, and then whoop,
Yep.
it's like you're grabbing somebody's prosthetic leg, like, what is this? Oh no! Roll up 1, 2, 3.
Eddie shows some intelligence right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliance.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
outsmarted him.
Yeah. Whew, what a way. Straff, we talked about it numerous times. Y'all can even check the archives, WrestleMania 20. What are your thoughts on Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero, WrestleMania 20?
I mean, it's a classic Eddie Guerrero finish, and like there's still controversy about it, because it's kind of like when he did the boot flying off, that was great. Getting rolled up into that cradle pin was great, but he was also tied up in the ropes, which was also a form of cheating.
Yep.
And he still won, so it's kind of like, was that intentional? Was that accidental? The world will never know. But there's still a part of me that didn't like it because it wasn't really a clean finish, you know. So there's part of me that irks me, but I also still love it for its creativity. And since they erased one person from the history books, they tout Kurt Angle in Eddie Guerrero as as the only main event of WrestleMania 20. It's like, well, I still don't like it as a finish. I'm so perplexed.
You
by
sure?
it.
You know, I don't remember getting into seeing a match with two invisible people fighting, where one invisible person, beat the other invisible person and won a title on an invisible title or anything like that. But
Well, you haven't seen Game Changer Wrestling.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
There's Bryce Renberg's like, whoa, they're just fighting each other. Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's
good. YouTube.
Yeah, we talked about that in season 1. We watched it, and oh Lord, we laughed our ass off.
I mean, I believe that. I mean, it could have started early on the indie scene, perhaps, or on another show. But I think that's where the dueling chants began, with Angle. With Eddie and Kurt Angle, like, let's go Angle, and Angle sucks.
Eddie, Angle sucks.
That cadence, like, that's where it came from. I mean, that's where it came from for me. It might have started elsewhere. What was it? I think it was like the Yes chant too. I mean, he what was it? Daniel Bryan said he got it from some UFC guy, but it didn't become a thing until like he was at a Ring of Honor show. It was like the Ring of Honor anniversary show, and people were hoping that they'd let Daniel Bryan show up, or let some of the guys that got signed away to TNA would show up, but none of that happened. It was just the regular roster: Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, and I remember that chant being big there, and then shenanigans at WrestleMania 28 getting screwed, and then the Yes chant becoming even bigger and bigger and bigger. So who knows where these chants begin, but they always happen around WrestleMania season.
Yes. Well, BDC, give us your thoughts on after the match. We finally see both men, Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, in the ring holding their brands titles. What a moment right there.
Yeah, that, for two guys that basically they entered WCW together. They were in Japan together. They were in WCW together. They were in ECW together. They were in WWE together. These guys were together pretty much the 90s and the 2000s up until Eddie's passing. These guys were together. And, they saw a lot of the same things. They saw the cruiserweights evolve. They saw WCW attempt to water down the cruiserweights when they got too hot and they were starting to become bigger than their big names. You saw them both leave. You saw them in ECW trying to, build up some momentum going into WWE. They go into WWE as a team, as part of the Radicals. And then they're given their chance to shine, and they both take it. They both take off. And, we see Eddie, of course, he gets his title first, but come WrestleMania, he still holds on to it. And here comes Chris. And you could just tell when the two of them in the ring together that it was just like a washing of everything they've went through, all just falling. While they looked at each other, they hugged each other. They had that moment where it was just like the culmination of both of their careers and everything that they've both been through, that they could share this moment where they're both the biggest champions in all of wrestling. Period. And I thought it was an amazing moment. I thought it was a moment that at that time couldn't be one-upped to me. And that could have had a lot to do with the fact that I was a big Guerrero guy. And I was a Benoit fan too. But that moment could not be one-upped because you knew what it meant for the two of them to be standing in the ring champions at that moment. On the biggest stage of the moment.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah, you couldn't have them both win the titles at WrestleMania. Would have been lovely, but you couldn't really have that. But you have them literally at the end of the night, they're both there together, holding those championships together. It was a beautiful moment.
I have to agree. You guys feel the same way?
Yes.
You know, WrestleMania 20, such a just there's a number right there, 20.
20.
You know, and yes, that's right. I was there live in person, and it was the most incredible WrestleMania at the time, and for many years to follow, it was the greatest WrestleMania. It had everybody on it. It was also the longest WrestleMania at the time. You know, 5 hours of wrestling. Imagine that. 5 hours. Woo! What a you know,
yeah.
what a time.
I mean, the big hook of, oddly enough, the big hook of the night was Undertaker was coming back as the Dead Man. That was the hook of the night because he was facing Kane.
It was a great thing. They had the WrestleMania program, and you know they show all the wrestlers and big nice glossy photos. Match, you know, this guy versus that guy, this guy versus that guy, and there was Kane versus the Symbol because they didn't know what he was going to look like when he came back.
Forgot about
You
that.
bought the program?
Yeah. I believe I bought most of the stuff later on eBay.
All right.
Like the T-shirt I got, the WrestleMania 20 T-shirt I got, I didn't get that in person. I got it on eBay for like $50. The program I got later because I couldn't get these things there. You know, they were sold out, and it was funny leaving the. Now we're getting off on, but you know, leaving the show, you know, people were just showing. You know, because still the merch stands open. Like, oh, the Lesnar and Goldberg shirts half off.
That's
know,
crazy because I didn't know both of them guys were leaving. Had no clue at that time.
Yeah. So those guys are.
The match. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
These guys are exiled for so long. You know, that's why it's like I was at their last appearance ever in the WWE, and yeah, so WrestleMania 20, and it had the main event. The post match of the main event being such a emotional, you know, moment, and you're like, that can't be eclipsed. Well, just wait 10 years, just wait 15 years.
Yeah,
WrestleMania would get so big, it would get so much longer too, and so many great moments have happened since. It's kind of like, wow, it's just incredible. You know, yes, Goldberg came back again, Lesnar came back again. More emotional moments have happened again, so it's just crazy to think. But WrestleMania 2020 was the first like really like emotional and significant mania, but it has since been eclipsed.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we all know that Eddie has a big heart, and we know that wrestling is his life. And Strap, we're going to talk about a brutal match that you chose between him and JBL, and it's a steel cage match on SmackDown. This is a good ass match right here in Providence, Rhode Island. Did you go to that?
No.
Free TV.
I had no idea. I don't know what as I was watching this match, I was thinking, what the hell was I doing that I was not at this match? So that's, you know, especially in the quote local area, you know, I'd go to any shows that were nearby. For some reason, I didn't go to this one, and that's always stuck to me a little bit. But having scrolled through the show, well, aside from that main event, I don't think I missed much.
No.
But yeah, this is a very significant match. It's and it's a highlight reel on, you know, the best of SmackDown over the years. There's Eddie Guerrero right on the top of the steel cage, frog splash from the top of the cage. You know,
and it's crazy seeing him do that frog splash. I thought he won after rewatching the match. Like, wait a minute, he didn't win because of El Gran Combo who came out in the damn suit, and then he cost him the match. JBL climbed over the top rope or the cage, and Combo just doing a little dance. The little Latino Heat shimmy, and then Eddie ripped the mask off, and come to find out, it was Kurt Angle. And he was the GM who was paralyzed. We thought we'd never see him again. He was paralyzed.
I mean, it was all a ruse to separate Eddie Guerrero from JBL, so JBL could move on to more different feuds. You know, he'd go on to SummerSlam to face The Undertaker into a no contest, I think. And then, you know, Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle would just have another blow-off match, but just a match, nothing on the line. And it's very disappointing. It's just like, this was a WrestleMania main event, and now it's just a grudge match. It's like, okay. And
it's the same year too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It
March,
was,
March, and then this is like July. Yeah,
because I think Kurt had one more Mania, and then he would leave after.
He had 2 more Manias. He had 21 and 22.
He had 22 as well.
Yeah, he had Michaels, and then the triple threat with Ray and Orton.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this match was very poignant match, because to me, this is the match that, like I said, separated Eddie from the main event scene back toward, you know, the upper mid card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he was for the remainder of his career, you know, he'd be floating at that top level, and then he, you know, had that final heel run, and you know, and we'll get to, you know, his final main event match. But yeah, like that's what this match kind of symbolized to me. It's like, this is the end of his main event, his initial main event run. JBL goes on to finish his longest reigning in SmackDown broadcast history, you know, and having that reign, whether some people look back on it fondly now, even though they hated it then. Oh, brother, what a chore. The only reason you held the WWE title for a year is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays.
Yep.
So there you have it.
Cooking him.
The wrestling god.
Yeah, well, Strap has one more match he want to talk about, and we're going to talk about his final feud with the Animal Batista. And this was an emotional one because in 2005, Eddie, he was a top heel, and you know the whole storyline between him and Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
And basically after this, he worked his way to Batista. Batista needed new challengers. Batista, your world heavyweight champion at the time. And these two guys, they became friends, and they had like great chemistry on camera. The fans start cheering for Eddie again, and these guys had a match at No Mercy. And yeah, this is basically Eddie's last feud. His last TV match was against Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy, but nobody really remembered that. They remember this time with Batista. What do you think about this last run for? Matter of fact, before I talk about his last run, Strap, talk about Batista and Eddie Guerrero.
This is
our new favorite.
Your new favorite?
Our new favorite of the show, Batista.
Oh, Batista.
Batista, yes.
Let's shoot laser beams. That's what he was on. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, that one. That's better. This period of time was,
I can't help it. I'm good with the impressions.
Was a unique one for me. I went to school and I moved cross country for a year, and this is when I went to San Jose State University, all the way in beautiful sunny California. And I didn't have television. I didn't have TV, brother. I ain't got the streaming rights either. So I was very unable to watch SmackDown and Raw and keep up with all that stuff unless I read about it. You know? So that's a little bit different. So I missed a lot. So I left, you know, early August, and I just, like I said, I didn't have TV unless I caught it somehow, somewhere. I think one of my roommates got TV, cable access. So we only got SmackDown, if anything. The cheaper, the UPN, I think. So I missed a lot. But Batista, you know, if we back up a little bit, y'all remember Muhammad Hassan?
Yes.
You know, he was the number one heel on the SmackDown brand, got into a bit of controversy, and he was written out of storylines at the Great American Bash. The Undertaker gave him the last ride of his career. And he was supposed to main event SummerSlam against Batista for the World Heavyweight title. That was going to be the big main event matchup, but it didn't happen. So they put JBL in that spot again. But so they're scrambling. They didn't have anything new for Batista to do, And of course, Batista beat JBL handily, just like it would do on No Mercy 2008 on a previous edition of this podcast. And Eddie Guerrero was, he turned heel earlier in the year because he was the SmackDown tag team champions with Rey Mysterio. So it was the first time ever you had active tag team champions wrestling each other at WrestleMania. And it was a face-to-face match. It was really good. It was a really good opening match for WrestleMania 21. But Eddie Guerrero would get jealous and turn heel on Rey and reveal some secrets involving that dirty, dastardly, no good, stinky, smelly Dominic Mysterio. Custody of Dominic ladder match at SummerSlam. Fun, brutal times for Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio in their final feud. But Rey won the contract.
I'm sure he regrets it now.
It's a novella, right? It's a stupid storyline, but hey, whatever.
Eddie, you can have him back.
So
it is a novella.
You guys are smiling about it now. Oh, the custody. And that's where the "I'm Your Poppy." Oh boy, that T-shirt came from. And so anyway, Eddie Guerrero was lost. I lost that match. It was a big match to lose. So then you're without your major program. Batista's without a major program, and somehow they got linked up. I actually want to go back and watch the SmackDowns from that time period and just follow it and see where it went because I missed all of it.
I think they were teaming up, and then Batista at that time was looking at Eddie like, "Dude, I know your tricks. I don't trust you."
Yeah. They had a very fun storyline with the, he is or he is not trying to pull one over on me. And yeah, it let the video pack. That's why we skip over video packages now, but for historical reasons they're great because that's how we caught up on this stuff. Is the video package opening the show and the video package preceding this match, the exact same video. But thankfully for that clued us in on what the match was about, and now we're at the match. And but it was his last main event feud. That's why I picked it because of course he had his last match, as Dom mentioned, with Ken Anderson, and I've watched that a lot because it's literally his last, him being alive and being so vibrant, and so I've watched that match a lot. But this was his last main event match, and it was going to lead to greater things. We just talked about the JBL thing where he's getting pushed down to the upper mid card. This is where Eddie Guerrero is being pushed back to the main event level. And he was he was cool again, man.
Yeah.
Not to say that, getting old and getting gray is not cool sometimes, but that's how he was looking earlier in the year. And then he develops his new heel persona. He's jacked to the gills again. He's just wearing the A shirts out to the ring, doing those promos, got new highlights in his hair, and he's looking like a boss, and so he's ready, he's invigorated, he's ready for this new push, and he's got they remixed his theme song. It's cool again. Everything is just on the up and up for Eddie Guerrero here, and like I said, it's just so sad to see where it ended up, obviously. But as for the match itself, I thought it was I thought it was really well done. Like Batista also looking like another boss because we love him on the It Doesn't Matter podcast. So these two studs going at it, and Eddie Guerrero, they're telling the story like, hey, and how Brock Lesnar, the name is Ixnade at that point in WWE. It's like, don't mention his freaking name. Well, they had to in this match. They said, hey, Eddie Guerrero won the WWE title beating a guy with the same body type as Batista. His name was Brock Lesnar. And you had this little guy facing off this big, powerful guy, and that's the story of the match. You don't have to say much about it. It's very obvious. Small guy, big guy. But the small guy is so talented. He's so fast. He is pulling tricks all over Batista. And eventually, Batista's weary of him. He catches him at every moment early on. But as the match goes on and goes toward the end, Batista's not able to catch up to those tricks anymore. He's succumbing to them, you know. And then the ref, of course, he gets knocked out a little bit, and there's that conflict, that inner conflict. Is Eddie Guerrero? He's got a new friend here, man. Does he go back to his old ways, his old winning ways? Does he want to do it like that, or does he want to fight with honor with his new friend here, even though it's for that championship that meant so much to him? He doesn't know what to do. Well, he makes a decision because he has to. He puts that chair away, and he's fighting, but he gets caught up. You know, he goes to the top rope. He's going to go for that final frog splash, makes a turn the last second, rolls through it, but it still hurts. And then he runs right at Big Dave, whammo, spine buster, spine on the pine. And that's a 1, 2, 3. And that's it for Eddie Guerrero here. And I believe it was a finish made to lead to another match. You know,
yes,
because the finish is a Batista bomb. Okay, it ain't the spine buster, so it was going to lead to another match. I am positive of. It was going to lead to more things.
We're definitely going to have a blow off match. Either he's going to win the title or on to the next guy. Basically,
that's right.
I believe Batista discussed that, and he said Eddie was supposed to win at that pay-per-view.
Even though Stephanie McMahon, the new doll of the WWE and proud sponsor of this podcast with ExpressVPN.
That'll go over TKO World, right?
So, yeah, Stephanie McMahon, I think she was like the booker of SmackDown, or I think, or one part of the creative team. I believe she said that that's not true. That Eddie Guerrero was not going to win the WWE title the weekend that he passed away. It's like, wow, first of all, why would you say that?
Yeah.
So that's not nice. But is it true? Then that's kind of weird, don't you think?
I tend to go with Batista. Batista doesn't lie. He pretty much calls out a lot of shit. Like, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. So,
yeah. So I mean,
as much as you're going to be a Hall of Famer, Steph, I'm just going to go with Batista. Ugh. Sorry.
Just think about it. We are in November right here, and then Raw has their pay-per-view in December, Armageddon, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. January, Royal Rumble. Then you could build to the road to Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania, excuse me. And they kept talking about the match that possibly could have happened at WrestleMania, was it 22?
Exactly
yeah.
You could have had Shawn and Eddie. My God.
Well, first of all, Bruce Pritchard's a liar. No.
I know you're a Dave Meltzer guy.
It's hard to say. I met Bruce Pritchard. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's very looking right in the eye, brother. Yeah, I mean, sure. You know, they had lots of things penciled in. You know, like Freddie Prinze Jr. had Michelle McCool penciled in to drop the Divas Championship at the Royal Rumble,
and apparently Turkus said no.
that don't work for her, brother.
Turkus said, "Nah, fam, nah."
I'm just really trying to figure out how that would get there, though, with Eddie and HBK, and what the storyline would get there.
I mean, I think it's as easy as
battling addictions anyway.
Well, I think it's just Raw versus SmackDown. That's what they did.
That's what they did. It would have been just previously. Like Taker and Shawn, basically. Tease from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Show up on each other's brand, just like Brock and Goldberg. Same thing.
Texas versus Texas.
That's true.
Yeah. So, who knows? And, you know, and the reason why Eddie Guerrero would have won the title that weekend or what have you, or that taping, is because Batista got hurt at Taboo Tuesday.
Exactly. That's why I said. Mm-hmm. So I tend to believe Batista.
Yeah. But as the Michelle McCool angle would suggest, being a champion doesn't mean you know your own program.
And you said this is WrestleMania 22. You saying that would have been the next one?
Yes, in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that was Triple H and
John Cena,
and then
John Cena,
and Rey Mysterio winning against Kurt Angle and Randy.
So Eddie Guerrero staying alive fucks Rey Mysterio's career.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, sorry, Ray. I don't know if you ever win the belt if Eddie's still around.
You baka.
No title.
Look, I don't know. He won the heavyweight title at the start of Raw and lost it at the end of it. I don't know if that's
Well,
John
yeah.
Chyna.
John Chyna
You
came
son
in.
of
He
a
said,
gun.
yeah.
"You know, I gotta get the title gap, yo, because Triple H is running the show. Maybe
It's
know.
CM
Here's
Punk's
a-
fault.
McMahon."
If CM Punk didn't come back, Rey Mysterio would have still remained a WWE champion. Or not. Whatever.
Who knows? It doesn't matter. But this was a epic episode to travel down memory lane.
Yeah.
My final question for you guys about Eddie Guerrero was one thing that the wrestlers from today can learn from Eddie Guerrero. Platino, let's start off with you.
I would definitely want to say the unique ways of how to cheat, and not the simple way of holding the ropes or doing little heat that they do. It's the little things that Eddie did. Everyone knows the whole chair shot thing. Even the refs are onto it now, so it's like, all right, now they evolved. But the the loosening of the boot, that was very smart. Using your feet, even though John doesn't like it, but using your feet while you're in a roll up or like a little small package, it doesn't seem like it was like really smart or he intentionally did it, but it looked like he knew what he was doing. So I would just say use your intelligence, use different ways of winning a match, just like Brett and Eddie used to do. You don't need to win with just your finisher, but be very unique and figure out a way of pinning guys who may be bigger than you. So that way, at least you can, protect them as well, not just yourself.
All right, BDC.
Learn how to engage a fucking crowd.
That's very difficult, man.
Because Eddie had to learn it in real time because the early version of him wasn't getting it. The early version of him wasn't getting it. And then he figured out less is more. He didn't talk shit. He just went out to the ring. He didn't give a damn about people and then made people intrigued. Took that over to WWE. Once he gets to WWE, now all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I can still be me, but let me throw some comedy on this. Let me make people laugh. It seems people want to laugh. This is crazy enough. This is 9/11 time. This is 2001, 2002. Things are kind of gloomy. People are feeling away. Let me make people laugh. Learn your audience. Engage it. Learn how to engage your audience. Read the room. He really looked to be a master at that.
All right, Strap, what about you?
I think similarly, I think a lesson modern wrestlers can take away from Eddie Guerrero is to not be afraid to put your heart and soul for the world to see. Obviously that promo hit a lot of people personally, whether they heard it 20 years ago or 20 minutes ago. So yeah, don't forget, folks, everything you see on TV is a work. But don't be afraid to take elements from your real life, whether they're grand, whether they're embarrassing, whether they shame you or not. Put it out there, because then you're being genuine, you're being heartfelt, you're being real. And going back to the evolution of Eddie Guerrero, be real. That's what you can do. NXT.
Yes, I have to say, just be yourself and shut up and listen. Just do what you gotta do. Look at what this guy did and nitpick and make it your own, basically.
Well, do you know who does not have to learn how to engage a crowd and read a room?
Dom Mysterio.
Bingo. Bingo.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yes.
If you had seen, I would say if you had seen Dom not our Dom, but Dominic Mysterio from rookie year to now. What a turnaround. What a difference. I don't think anybody saw this coming. I know damn well we were all thinking, why doesn't he go back to NXT? Learn to trade a little bit more. He said, you know what? Screw everybody. I know what the hell I'm doing. And he is maybe the number one heel of all wrestling.
And so over, it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Doesn't even have to say anything. All you gotta do is right here. This what he does.
Oh man.
Hey BDC, who does he remind you of? How Eddie started out in the beginning trying to be that good baby face and wasn't getting over. He started out the same way with his dad.
Yep.
Grow your hair a little bit, get a mustache, and you still just do your in-ring work.
And they realized that. Which is why they kind of tagged the Latino Heat onto him too. They realized that everything comes into play. You look at Rhea. Rhea was wearing I'm Your Mommy shirts.
Yep.
All of that played into it.
We know we love Mommy though.
Just continued the Eddie Ray story 20 years later. They just continued it.
Literally.
And it's been a stroke of genius.
You know, you could argue that it's the people around Dominic Mysterio that are getting him over, if you want to take a alternative point of view on this. But again, you don't have the people surrounding him. You don't have the vortex without the guy in the center. Dom Mysterio.
Exactly. Yep.
So this sneaky motherfucker. You know, I mean, as a joke, in the January of 2024, 23, the year that he was about to face Ray in LA.
Yep.
You know, I was joking on Facebook. I'm like, Dominic Mysterio is going to win the Royal Rumble and be the world champion. And just to show that, you know, you can't pick winners. You know, that I don't always make the right choices in life, especially at a buffet. But at one point in time, it was Dominic Mysterio and a contemporary in the other company. Would anyone care to guess who his contemporary in the other company would be?
MJF.
Nah. Well, close. I'll give you a close. But it would be
contemporary is
somewhat. You know, if you had to compare, like, oh, well, he's AEW's blank. He's AEW's Dominic Mysterio, like that. Without wasting too much time here, I said it was Sammy Guevara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I was like, Sammy, at the time when he debuted, when Dominic was a fresh face, baby face debut, and he was nothing, man. He was nothing. He was a drizzling shites. So Sammy Guevara was killing it. He was he's a 3-time TNT champion. Then he had to go bang out some hot ass Brazilian, and anyway, you know, I think he still won in life, actually. But I'm like, Sammy Guevara, Sammy Guevara is gonna have a better career than Dominic Mysterio, and thank God, that I didn't put money down, because I would have lost big compared to where Dominic Mysterio is today.
Yeah.
And Sammy Guevara is where? Part of LFI on Ring of Honor, no television? There we go.
Yeah.
I am also wrong at times.
Yeah.
No matter how many facts I spew out.
There you go. Well, that concludes our show of Eddie Guerrero. Next week is BDC's choice, and he chose No Mercy 2002. We're still on the No Mercy boat, so I'm about to run through the card right quick. Here we go. In our opening match for the World Tag Team Championships, we have Chris Jericho and Christian taking on Booker T and Goldust.
Booker T and Goldust. Booker T and Goldust.
Yeah.
Booker T and Goldust. Hey, Tom.
One of Goldust's best runs, too.
Let me get a sip of your Slurpee, and I'll let you have a bite of my wiener.
What?
What the hell?
Booker's got the pea shakes.
Just say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you just say that.
Those are some of the best promos.
Yes. Yep.
I remember him walking into that 7-Eleven. He's like, Matt Hardy, RVD, The Rock. Yo, man, y'all must have sold out them Booker T cups. Sucker.
Oh man.
Oh,
He could have the
Classic
Slim Jims
Booker.
like, yeah, I like some of these. Yeah.
that was
Classic
great.
Booker. Yep. All right. Well, after this, we have Tori Wilson taking on Dawn Marie.
Oh,
Yep.
Pour one out for Big Al.
that's fine. Oh, I'm out of my drink. Oh,
All right. After this, we have the Nature Boy Ric Flair taking on. Yes, he's taking on the whole effing show. Rob Van Dam.
damn. Oh.
And they never wrestled again.
I can just see RVD hitting him with one of them spin kicks. He just
Like, I don't know what these kids are doing with their flippy floppity kicks.
Yeah. All right. Our next match is for the Cruiserweight Championship. We have Tajiri taking on Jamie Noble.
I just got buzz kicked.
All right. Our next match is a unification match for the World Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. We have Triple H taking on Kane.
I'm pretty sure we know how this turned out, folks.
Yeah.
That was your week. Shitty.
All right. Well, our next match, we have a tag team match for the inaugural WWE Tag Team Championship. We have Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit taking on Edge and Rey Mysterio. That's gonna be good.
I had a post banned from the PW Torch message boards for writing something about this match.
Oh, bring it up. We want to hear it. All right, our next match is for the Women's Championship. We have Victoria taking on Trish Stratus.
Ooh, the Black Widow versus the Blonde Bomb.
Yep.
The Blonde Bomb. Yep.
We don't talk about Victoria enough.
Yeah, she doesn't get her just dues in
Yeah.
E.
She ain't a lady to mess with.
I was about to say that.
I'm
not the lady to mess with. Go.
Naomi without the soul.
Wow. All right, in our main event for the WWE Championship, we have a Hell in a Cell match. We have Brock Lesnar taking on The Undertaker.
Ooh.
No streaks needed.
No streaks needed, just blood.
What No Mercy was this one again, Dom?
2002.
Oh, two?
Sheesh.
Yep, you know why BDC chose this show? That match right there.
Oh, yeah.
No Mercy.
Maybe it'll be just like the one I picked. Be a surprise.
No. I chose it for the entire card, not just that match, not this time.
Oh, so you're the Tajiri mark.
I remember that match enough to know that it was
watch it?
But I did watch it for the rest of the card.
Was Jamie with Needy at the time?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby, you know we're gonna get it. Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, get my back. Ooh, yeah.
Come on, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They be having that dirty sex in the pickup.
Trailer park.
Yep.
I smell like corn here. Frito Lay.
Biscuits and gravy. All right, No Mercy 2002.
Yes, sir.
Next week. And that concludes our Eddie Guerrero tribute show right here. If you guys enjoyed our show, if you vibe with us, remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Hell, drop a comment. What's your favorite Eddie Guerrero moment of all time? We would like to hear from you. We'll definitely respond back if you comment. Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my brother, Platinum BDC and StrapFacts. Thank you for choosing this right here. And most importantly, shout out to the man himself, Eddie Guerrero. We miss you. Wish you were still here. Viva
Eddie,
la raza. Lie.
You
cheat.
are my favorite wrestler.
Yes. Viva la
Literally,
raza. Lie. Cheat. And continue stealing all our hearts. This show is for you. Till then, we will see you guys next time. Boom. Rhea. She's still alive. Boom.